Today is a beautiful day, and unfortunately I couldn't get out on game drive, so I decided this morning I'm actually going to take a walk and explore some of the forest that surrounds the camp here. This is a very unique habitat. You won't really find too much of it out in the rest of the Masai Mara, especially out in those open grasslands, and so it's a whole host to such amazing animals that you won't necessarily see out on game drive. And in particular, I'm hoping to actually expand my bird list, so hence the bird book. But let's see what other critters and creatures we come across along the way. There's so much life, from birds to monkeys. I've seen a couple of families of banded mongooses running around as well. And so it really is just such an incredible home for so many creatures. But that does make it a little bit tricky to know where to look, because you have to look up into the trees and also down in the leaf litter. Spotted my first subjects for the morning. It's a tree hyrax and her little baby. Now this little baby only pitched up about a week ago, and it is just too cute. Or at least I saw it for the first time a week ago. I'm not really an expert in aging hyraxes yet. But it is just adorable. It looks like they're feeding on some of the vegetation here. And you can really see how alert Mum is. She's very concerned about all the noises going on around the camp here. Oh, there's a little face. Look at that. Just incredible. And there's one there perched on the stump looking away from us. You can see those black spots on the bottom. A very common sight out here in the forest, although I suppose less commonly seen and more commonly heard. And I must admit, they cause havoc around my tent at night. They do tend to scream. And when I say scream, I mean it actually sounds like a person being murdered. Just putting it out there. The first night that I was here, if I had not known what it was, I would have panicked. But luckily I was forewarned. They are cute though. And there you can see the one's face. But I'm going to leave them to their morning snooze and see who else I can catch up with. I spotted someone very special. So these three just pitched up. But how cute. Look at the one in the middle. It's kind of sniffing, trying to figure out if I'm a threat or not. These warthogs are super used to people. Obviously, if you were to approach them, it's a different story. But having said that, they're pretty much resident within Kichwa Tembo. So regardless of where you are on the pathways or in your tents, they're around. Look at that. Oh, little stretch. That's so cute. They're so dog-like in their behavior, and then actually even how they look. Look at the tail wag. Just enjoying the morning sunshine. And actually, the leaf litter that they're lying in from the fig trees actually retain a lot of... Sorry, the tail wag gets me. The leaves will retain a lot of heat and almost form like a bit of a blanket, so... Oh, look at that stretch. Oh, there's a yawn. I don't think I've ever seen a warthog yawn. That was a first for me. So I'm just going to slowly maneuver from my staircase. You can see them just over there in the corner. Now, there is a very interesting little fact that I learned when I first arrived here, and that is that on one of the bridges there is actually the nest of a grey-throated barbet. Now, that is a bird I have never seen before. We don't get it in South Africa. And so I've come to this bridge to see if anybody's home. But I'm trying to be very quiet. Don't want to disturb them too much. But that's the tree that we're going to be looking in. I hear chicks. Now, I'm not sure if you can see that little hole that's just in the top of the dead branch, right in the middle of this tree. And that is actually the barbet's nest. Now, I can hear what sounds like little chicks inside, probably calling for food from their parents. So I'm going to sit by a little while and see if I can capture anyone coming home. It is also a possibility that mum or dad are actually in the nest hole itself with the chicks. However, they're probably out foraging for some food and then they'll bring it back to the chicks. So I think if we wait here a little bit, we might see some action. But we'll give it a few minutes. I can hear little knocking noises. And I'm not exactly sure if it's from the barbet or if maybe a woodpecker's joined us. But if they're knocking, it could also be one of the parents cleaning out the nest. There it is. Yes. There it is. I know it's really tricky to see in this light, but that was the parent that just emerged from the nest. And I think it's checking me out, so I'm just sitting very quietly, very still. I'm sitting quite far from the nest, just so that I don't disturb it as much as possible. But I think it's off to forage, so it might very well come back. I feel like I'm doing an ab workout. But I guess that's the nature of photography. Sometimes you got to sit at an awkward angle. Wow, that is magnificent. One bird down. So many more to go. There's a chick. Oh my gosh, it's a chick. Oh, it may not look like a chick, but the reason I can tell it's a chick, if you look at the gape, so the little skin around the bill, and actually the bill itself is quite light in colour, and the ring around the eye, it's all very yellow in colour. So if this was a fully grown adult, it would actually be all black. That's incredible, it's looking for food. I think it's waiting for mum and dad to come back with some tasty morsels, and I'm hoping that's exactly what they're going to do. Barbets being fruit eaters, generally the parents would have to go quite far to find a meal for these little guys, but being in the forest there's a lot of fig trees, there's a lot of different fruits, and so mum and dad don't really have to go too far. And I'm sure this was not the only chick in there, I'm sure there's more chicks in there. The parent bird that I originally saw, it had flown away, but it's back. It's just sitting right above my head, but it might be a little different with me actually sitting here. Oh, that was the parent. That loud squeak. It's calling. Oh, there's one parent coming. They're both here. They're both here. Look at how the little one's getting super excited. There's actually 3 adults that are feeding these chicks. I've personally never seen it before, but Oh, the chick just fledged. It just fledged. No way. The chick literally just fledged. It just took its first flight from the nest. How cool is that? There's another chick. I wonder if it's going to do the same thing. Oh, no way. Oh, this one looks a little nervous. I've been following these little chicks. I've been checking on them every single day for the past few weeks. You have no idea how special this is to watch these birds take their very first flight. And the parents keep going back to the nest. I think what they're doing is they're trying to encourage the other chicks to actually come out. There comes an adult. So you can really see the difference between the chicks and the adult. The adult has a very black beak. Oh, that was cool. Oh, this is so cool. This is incredible. I've never seen this before. And to be able to watch it with a species that is pretty much endemic to the forests here is just mind-blowing. I cannot tell you how excited I am. I'm going to see if I can get another angle of that chick. And there is the first little fledgling. Welcomed into the world. What's begging for food? Oh, there's an adult. I mean, that was pretty incredible all in all. But it's time for me to head off and see maybe what else I can find around the camp. I'm currently heading towards a bridge that actually crosses over a river that goes straight through the camp. And I'm going to spend a little bit of time there and see if there's any little critters that decide to come out and visit me. You never really know. But patience is key most of the time out here. Oh, how stunning is this? Look at that. Oh my gosh, it's such a special bird here. No way. So it's really tricky to get a good angle and there's lots of leaves, but oh, these are so beautiful. So this is the Ross's Turocco, and it's really difficult to see right now. I want to see if I can try and get a better angle. I'm going to show you beautiful colours. Look at that. Oh my gosh, it's so hard to film because they move so quickly. Here is a Simango monkey. I don't remember seeing them as dark as these ones. These guys are almost black. The ones I've seen before down very close to Penda around St. Lucia area are a little bit more brown. But there's also another species of monkey that we do not get in South Africa, and that is the red-tailed monkey. Look at these guys. How cute! I love the little white cheeks and then white patch on the nose. But don't let the cuteness fool you. They are often trying to get into my tent. More often than I would like. Well, I did say we'd be looking for all sorts of critters and creatures, and I nearly walked into this one. Luckily I saw it at the last second. But this is actually a little kite spider that's made a web across the pathway, currently just blowing in the soft breeze. And I would imagine waiting for any unsuspecting insects to get trapped in the web. And one thing he might be looking to enjoy if it does get trapped in his web is something like this damselfly. Here in the camp, I've noticed there are a lot of different damselflies, different colors, different species. They are a pretty good indicator of a generally healthy ecosystem. They are typically found around water sources because that's generally where most of their prey breeds and resides, and they are now going to be feeding mostly on flies, but also on mosquitoes. Now right now the mosquitoes are not that prevalent, but I can imagine in the summertime they get a little bit out of hand. So as far as I'm concerned, the more damselflies there are, the way better for me. But when it comes to flying insects, there's not just damselflies around. There are also a phenomenal number of butterfly species that I've been seeing here around camp. And it seems to be that this one is known as a southern friar. And like a lot of butterfly species, you can find these little guys in forests or also around any attractive flowering plants. And speaking about attractive, look at how beautiful the spider web is glowing in the sunlight. It's glowing this wonderful gold color, and that is entirely on purpose because the type of spider that creates this web is known as a golden orb web spider. You can actually see the male and female spider in the web. The much larger, darker in color spider is actually the female. Now she's the one that would have built this entire web, partially to catch insects, of course, but also to attract males to her web, like the one off just to her left. She will then mate with them, of course. Then she will actually kill and eat the male. While we're on the topic of creepy crawlies, I've come across a very large colony of the safari ant. Now it's really impressive to see how big of a highway these ants have created using pheromones. Maybe there's a source of food very close by. These ants typically feed on other insects. So they are predatory ants. They will then lay a pheromone trail on this highway. The rest of the colony will then follow that pheromone trail exactly to that dead insect. How fascinating is that? One place we haven't been yet is around the front to the main lodge, where there also happens to be a bit of a veggie garden, which sometimes is a great attraction to many other animals here in the camp. Just like these little dwarf mongooses. How cute are they? And they are often here around the main lodge, mostly being chased out of the dining room. But you can also see them digging around the veggie gardens here, looking for any larvae or other insects that they can forage for. Some teeny tiny little baby warthogs. Oh my gosh, it's tiny. I haven't seen these little ones. But even while I'm talking here, you can tell Mom's very relaxed. She's letting them suckle. Oh, look at how it's even sitting down. All fighting over Mom's teats. Not that they really need to. She's clearly got plenty for all three of them. My gosh, it's adorable. They're swapping teats. You see how the one went under the belly? So once one teat runs out of milk, then they start looking for others that have milk left. Oh my gosh. I mean, these little piglets are maybe a couple of weeks old at the very most. It's just so cute. I think baby warthogs have to be my favourite animal. Well, my favourite baby animal, to be fair. I love all baby animals, but how can you not love warthogs when they're this small? I love the little jump. There was no need for it either, but I think it's getting excited now. It's maybe also a little bit unsure. I've been sitting here very still, but I've been... Oh! The little jump! So I think it's really just they spooked each other. There's Mom busy feeding. Look at how she gets down on her knees to get as close as she can to all that vegetation. And it wouldn't surprise me if what she's actually looking for here is fruit. And so the monkeys and the birds are around all the time. And so I think she's picking up all the little fruits that have been dislodged by the other animals around here. She's teaching her little piglets to do the same. Well, I'm pretty impressed with the amount of wildlife that we managed to find in Gam today. But it is time for me to head out and see what else the morrow has in store for us. And I will catch all of you on our next safari. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and feel free to leave a comment in the comment section down below and tell us exactly what you thought of this week's WILDwatch Virtual Safari.